let's talk about Spider-Man. Spider-Man, for the people who somehow don't know, is actually coming to this game. It's going to come in 2021. The actual big caveat about that is that it's PlayStation exclusive. So that means that if you play this game on PC, Xbox X,
Series X, or Stadia,
you will not be able to play as the wall crawler. And the fact that there will be exclusive content associated with him as well, and some other stuff, obviously. But primarily, it's also a totally different Spider-Man that is not connected to the Sony Spider-Man game either.
It's not connected to the Sony movie one that they own or the video game one that is associated with them.
Neither of those, which is funny because even in the Spider-Man game, they're like, yeah, the Avengers went west. So they set it up perfectly.
I mentioned that. Yeah, I wrote about that earlier this week. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's bizarre.
And they could have set it up where like Spider-Man went away and Miles Morales had his own game, like something like that.
I mean, the idea of creating they actually could have really done that. That would have been a great idea.
Yeah.
The idea of creating the MCU itself, the film universe, is like pretty staggering that they pulled that off.
Yes.
No one's ever really tried anything on that scale in like the video game space that I can really think of, other than just like other games in the same world by the same developer, or, like sequels and stuff like that. So like a multi-developer project where everybody is creating the same games in the same world is like a pretty tall task, and I don't know how anybody would ever do that, especially with rights issues and things like that. But I mean, they could have done it here. Marvel Games is the ones who's licensing this out to everybody, so they could have probably pulled it off somehow. Maybe I don't know. So yeah, maybe it's too much to get hopeful for that. Anyway, bottom line with Spider-Man stuff, I don't know, man. That sucks.
It does. It 100% sucks.
I mean, there's been a lot of talk about it already this week, and I feel like it's getting to the point where we're potentially beating a dead horse just a tad bit. I don't know. I think the thing that sucks with this one is it really pissing people off is that there are a lot of exclusive partnership deals that publishers make with console manufacturers all the time. Like, oh, we're bringing this first to Xbox, or we're bringing this first to PlayStation, anything like that, But that stuff always ends up seeming like it comes to another platform down the road. Or it's just like, oh, we're releasing this game 1 month ahead of time on this platform. It'll be here next. Like even like something like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like that's already like next year that'll be on Xbox and PC probably.
Yeah, or if they have a Series X version.
Yeah, anything like that. So like that's going to be coming to other platforms. Like we know those things ahead of time. So I mean, we've grown kind of numb to it, but even then, the things that are exclusive are usually pretty small in all regards to. Like, it's like, oh, Call of Duty maps, they're coming first to PlayStation. It's like, whatever. It's just Call of Duty maps. Yeah. This is different because, again, I don't know how big this game's player base is going to be, so maybe this is totally overblown in the first place. Maybe this comes out and everybody's like, this game isn't fun, and everybody bounces off of it really quickly. I do think it is going to be one of the bigger mass market products of the year, though, just because Avengers is a huge IP.
Yeah. That's why I keep caveating, this feels like Destiny 1. Don't go crazy. This is Destiny 1. It will maybe build into something. Just don't go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but regardless, people are going to buy it. It's the same thing with Battlefront 2. Everybody's like, this game sucks, and
now it's
sold 10 million copies or something like that. This is going to be the same thing. Like a lot of people are probably going to buy this game, and so the fact that then you are now PlayStation is going to be the biggest platform for this game too, obviously. But the fact that you would add a character only to PlayStation platforms, the character's a pretty big addition. It's not just like Call of Duty maps where it's like, oh, Rust 2, Nuketown 5. It's like, oh, whatever. It's just a map. This is like a full, playable, person in this game. Like, this is the reason why you are buying this game. It is to play as the different characters, swap between them, have fun with them. Not only that, but it is Spider-Man is the most popular superhero character in the world. Like, this would be like if DC made a game and they're like, by the way, Batman only available for Xbox users. Like, that's essentially what it is. It is the most popular character that everybody loves, only being available on one platform. And I think that's what's got everybody way more upset about it.
For sure. And I'm thinking of it on a level of like even storytelling for the game and what they're going to tell going forward. Like after we finish this like reassemble of the Avengers storyline, like what's the next take? And if he's a character that's in your game, well then he would be a part of that story, but he's only a part of that story on PlayStation?
Yeah, that was the weird thing too, because they were Crystal Dynamics was hyping that up in like their reveal post. They're like, "Oh, we can't wait to introduce you to our version of Peter Parker and our version of Spider-Man, and show you what he looks like, and have you get to know him." I'm like, this is going to be really weird with like, because these characters are like all supposed to like interact and intermingle with one another to a certain degree, and it's just going to be like, is it going to feel really hollow that he's in the PlayStation version? Because I don't know. It's gonna be strange.
It also feels like a weird part of like canon is missing, right? In a way, it's like on Xbox, you know, such and such never met such and such because in the PlayStation version he was dating Spider-Man. I don't know, some silly like that where it's just like he feels like, well, he's a character that should be crucial to a lot of things. And if you're telling a story-based multiplayer game that I assume will have more story single player content involving all of these characters, but you have Spider-Man as a playable thing, shouldn't he be a part of that story? And the fact that, is he just going to be in the background for other consoles?
That's the thing they're talking about. I don't think he's going to be in it at all. That's the thing, too, is they're talking about this being a multi-year project where they're like, oh, we'll expand on it. They're going to introduce, like, it seems like AIM and MODOK are going to be the first main villains or whatever, and then they'll add more afterwards.
Yes. I mean, if you go and, like, look in the beta, there is a section that literally just says reassembled, which I assume is the campaign of the main campaign.
I think it's the name of the campaign, yeah.
But then there's other slots, and I didn't count exactly how many, but there was a few, which to me, if it resembles anything, might be like how Destiny has, like, this is vanilla Destiny, this is like Vault of Glass, this is Taken King,
like that, yeah.
Like, and whatever they end up calling it, like the Age of Ultron of the sequel, I don't know, whatever the hell you want to call it, but yeah.
Yeah, and so if you're playing as Spider, I mean, I think that the one thing I will say about the single player stuff is that it seems like they might lock you into playing as certain characters in those.
Yes.
So in that regard, maybe Spider-Man won't be playing as big of a part. And they've said this with Hawkeye too. The Hawkeye stuff that they're adding, they said he's getting his own single player or co-op missions as well that you can choose to just play with him. But are they doing that with Spider-Man? I don't know. It's
but like
bizarre.
They're doing their own little thing just for this, but then again, if there is a greater campaign, you're not just going to evolve those characters, but you can play as them. Like that's the part where I'm like, it's what the.
Yeah. I can't say that I much understand that either. I don't know. It's just it's weird because it is I'll say it's a bad decision by Square and Marvel. PlayStation, like everybody's been faulting PlayStation. Like PlayStation, this is anti-consumer. How could you do this? And I'm like I totally understand why they would want to do it. Like now everybody's going to buy this game. I'm like, I'm going to buy this game on PlayStation now because I eventually want to try Spider-Man out.
Exactly. I was going to play on PC, but now, no, I think I got to play on PlayStation.
Well, then also does Spider-Man's inclusion nix crossplay for eternity? Like, is this just never going to be a crossplay game?
I didn't even think of that. And that also sucks.
Like you're playing on Xbox, and all of a sudden Spider-Man shows up. It's like, oh, I'm playing with the PlayStation player, I guess.
And not to mention,
they haven't confirmed crossplay yet, but crossplay has become somewhat more common now than it was a few years ago. So,
and not to mention the fact that it's like, well, I'm locked in the PlayStation 4, but then if there's a PlayStation 5 version where all my stuff carries over, now I have to buy. Then I have to buy a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have to, but still.
So, I understand why PlayStation made this. I'm more confused as to why. I don't know. There must be some sort of licensing agreement between Marvel and Sony where Sony has the rights to that character right now, which is how they are doing, like the other video games that Insomniac's doing.
Yeah.
Because I can't see Square Enix being like thrilled about this prospect, or even Crystal Dynamics for that matter. Like imagine going to the team at Crystal Dynamics and they're like, all right, guys, big news. We have confirmation that you can put Spider-Man in this game. And I'm sure they're like, yes, cool. Also, you can only deliver the character that you create to a third of your audience. It's like, what? Like, and again, PlayStation is going to be a huge platform for this. I wager that over half of the people who play this game are going to play it on PlayStation. But still, like, that sucks.
Yeah.
That you're going to develop something like that not everybody will be able to check out.
Yeah. Just thinking about this just bums me the hell out. But at the same time, okay, so before we probably close this up for Spider-Man, because now we have like every fantastic voice actor in this game. Who do you want to be Spider-Man? Do you want Yuri Yernthal to be him again? Because that would make me more upset, to be completely honest.
No, he won't be. There's no possible way they do Yuri Lowenthal. I think they're going to keep those worlds separate, especially based on their wording. I'm
trying to think who's left, and I'm like, yo, what was Steve Bloom when he had like the most graspiest voice ever?
What if they did? Who played the original Peter Parker in Spider-Verse before he died?
Oh, that would be Chris Pine. Yeah, it would be Chris Pine.
Get Chris Pine in this.
I'll settle for someone more available. Give me a Freddie Prinze Jr. He's doing voice acting. He'll be doing a decent job.
You can do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Sure. Freddie Prinze does a lot of stuff.
Or I'm sorry, Chris. What's his face from Days Gone? Darth Maul.
Oh, Sam Witwer.
Sam Witwer. Why not? Just why not? He's a sure. Okay. Why not?
Throw him in there.
I'm just spitballing.
So yeah, that's our general thoughts on Marvel's Avengers right now. Including all things with Spider-Man. Game is out on September 4th for all current gen platforms other than Switch. The beta, like I said at the top, goes live later this week if you have pre-ordered the game, so you can check out what we checked out ahead of time. Like I said, all things considered, I am more looking forward to the game now, but I also can't say it's like one of the year's hottest releases that it's just going to be super keen on. I don't know. Might be fun to play with friends. Might be good. Turn your brain off game. Lord knows I play enough of games like that. League of Legends, for instance.
This will not be as good as Predator Hunting Grounds. Sorry.
Yeah, Predator Hunting Grounds. The current game of the year.
100%.
So yeah, I don't know. Looking forward to seeing what everybody thinks this weekend, though, once the general public starts getting their hands on with it. So let us know down in the comments if you're either looking forward to the beta this weekend or if you've played it, what you are thinking about it right now, and we can respond to you down there and maybe answer your questions. As for Mario and myself, we're going to skedaddle on out of here, but you should, before we skedaddle, sure to subscribe down below. You can also check us out over on DualShockers.com for everything else related to the game. I should have a written preview going up as well, but it's just going to reiterate a lot of the same things Mario and I have already talked about with the game. Yeah. And otherwise, follow us over at DualShockers on Twitter if you would like. You can follow me on Twitter as well. I am at Moreman12, and Mario is at that Mario Rivera over on Twitter. So, anything else you want to say, Mario?
No, other than this should be coming out Wednesday, but also Thursday we have a video going up, and Friday. So this whole week we've actually had a video once a day, at least.
Dang, it's like we're professional YouTubers now. Finally, and that's a lot to help from Nick as well, who's been helping me. And then there's a new person that we just pulled on, so I'm excited for the rest of the stuff that's going to be produced. So for sure, if you're watching, gotten to this point, subscribe. Like seriously, I know that. Everybody says that, but we are putting a renewed focus on our video stuff here, and we're definitely looking for feedback. So if you've got any, be sure to give it to us.
That's right.
Other than that, hope you have a great day. We will see you around here next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.